Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. This time, we're taking a close look at Dentcalls.ai.
Sounds intriguing.
It is, especially if you're in the dental field. It's an AI solution that's really shaking things up for dental practices. We've got research articles, the whole 9 yards.
So we'll be exploring how this technology is impacting.
Yeah, things like productivity, sales, even customer satisfaction.
Big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dentcalls.ai is being positioned as a game changer.
It is. And for any dental practice looking to get a leg up, well, this is the deep dive for you.
Okay, I'm ready to dive in.
Me too. So right off the bat, what's really interesting here is that Dentcalls.ai, it isn't just another piece of software. It's built on their own AI platform called Codibot.
Codibot. Interesting.
Yeah, and it's designed specifically for the unique challenges that the dental industry faces. Every industry has its own little quirks and wrinkles, and this one is built for the dental industry.
It's not just automating tasks. It's about using AI to really optimize the entire patient journey, I'd say. And a good example of that is their core feature, that AI Dental Receptionist.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's a game changer, right? It's like having this 24/7 front desk that never sleeps, never misses a beat.
Always on.
Always on. And it's handling appointments, reminders, confirmations. It even answers those common questions that patients have, like about services or insurance.
And all automatically, right?
Yes. And research shows that this kind of instant availability, it just leads to higher patient satisfaction, which makes a lot of sense.
Right. Who wants to be stuck on hold?
Absolutely. And it reduces those frustrating bottlenecks. You know the ones I'm talking about? Those bottlenecks that can really drive patients away.
Yeah, it's no fun being stuck in a waiting room forever.
Exactly.
Or being put on hold forever.
Yeah, it's not a good experience.
No, it's not.
So, and that's a key point here, right?
I think so, yeah.
Happy patients, well, they're much more likely to be loyal, right?
That makes sense.
They're going to come back, and that ultimately translates into more revenue for the practice.
It's all connected.
Exactly. Plus, when you think about the cost savings...
Right, because instead of needing a full front desk staff during off-peak hours or even, overnight.
Right. You can rely on Dentcalls.ai to handle those routine interactions. Some studies even suggest that this could lead to a reduction in, your staffing costs by up to 15%.
Wow, that's significant.
It is. It frees up resources to focus on other areas of the practice, too.
Okay, so we've got cost savings and happier patients. That's a pretty compelling combo for any dental practice owner. But what about Codibot? You mentioned it before. How does that platform, that proprietary platform, make Dentcalls.ai different from all the other AI solutions out there?
Right. It's all about what we call domain-specific expertise.
Okay.
Think of it like this, a generic AI. That's like your general practitioner, right? But Codibot, it's a board-certified dental specialist.
Oh, I like that analogy.
It understands all those little nuances, like dental terminology, procedures, even insurance codes. And this allows Dentcalls.ai to provide more accurate and relevant solutions specifically for dental practices.
So it's not just about doing tasks, it's about understanding the industry. That seems like a big advantage. But wouldn't a specialized system like this be super complex to implement?
That's where the Codibot platform really shines. It enables agile development, meaning they can adapt quickly. They can add features based on feedback from, real dental practices and the always changing healthcare landscape.
So it's not just set in stone.
No, it's always evolving. Think of it as like a dedicated team of developers who are constantly refining and improving the system.
Okay, so it can evolve alongside the needs of the practice.
Absolutely. And not just about keeping up, but staying ahead. By understanding industry trends and anticipating future needs, Dentcalls.ai can actually help practices get ahead of the curve.
That's amazing.
It is, and offer a level of service that really differentiates them from their competition. And this is really important. This proactive approach, it's crucial for any practice looking to not just survive, but really thrive in today's market.
Absolutely. The competition is fierce out there.
It is.
Okay, we've talked about the AI Dental Receptionist and the power behind this Codibot platform. But there's another big concern in healthcare, especially when you're dealing with sensitive patient data. That's privacy and security. So how does Dentcalls.ai address that?
That's a critical question, and it's where owning the Codibot platform really comes into play. They're not relying on third-party AI providers.
Right.
Where data could be, floating around who knows where.
Yeah, going through various systems.
Exactly. With Dentcalls.ai, all patient data is handled within their own secure infrastructure.
Yeah.
ensuring compliance with, high PA and all those other regulations.
So they're not just promising security, they're actually controlling the whole data ecosystem.
Yeah.
That's reassuring for the practice and for the patient. But speaking of the patient, haven't we forgotten about them in all this talk about efficiency and technology? How does Dentcalls.ai actually improve their experience?
Right. Well, that's where it all comes together. By automating those routine tasks and giving that instant access to information, Dentcalls.ai frees up the staff.
So they have more time.
They do. They have more time to focus on delivering personalized care.
Human touch.
Exactly. Patients are getting quicker responses to their inquiries, easier appointment scheduling, and just overall a more streamlined experience.
It sounds like they're striking a balance between, the tech and that human touch. Instead of replacing staff, Dentcalls.ai empowers them to provide better care. But is there evidence this actually translates to higher patient satisfaction?
There is. The research shows that patients really value convenience. They value responsiveness.
Right. Makes sense.
When they can schedule appointments easily, get their questions answered quickly, and feel like they're getting personalized attention from the staff, well, it creates a positive experience.
Absolutely.
And fosters loyalty. And loyal patients, well, they're much more likely to recommend the practice to others.
Word of mouth is huge.
It is. It's essential for any business, really, but especially so in healthcare.
So it's like this ripple effect,
Yeah.
Improved efficiency leads to happier patients, which leads to more business and ultimately a more successful practice.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about how it works, its impact on the practice, but how does this actually translate into real-world benefits for these dental practices? Are we seeing tangible results in terms of productivity and sales? That's what we're going to dive into next.
Let's do it. The benefits, they're definitely tangible.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. For starters, let's just think about productivity for a minute. By automating tasks like, appointment scheduling and reminders, Dentcalls.ai frees up so much staff time.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not just talking about minutes here.
No.
We're talking about hours that can now be reallocated to more valuable activities. Instead of being bogged down with all that admin work,
Right.
the staff can focus on patient care, consultations, maybe even things like marketing or outreach to attract new patients.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, not harder, right?
Certainly.
And that directly impacts the bottom line.
How so?
Well, when practices can see more patients, because they have this increased efficiency, it just naturally leads to higher revenue.
Right. It's a numbers game at the end of the day.
It is. And a smoother, more responsive patient experience, well, that often leads to better online reviews.
Makes sense.
You get more word-of-mouth referrals. And that's essential for attracting new patients, especially in today's world. It's all about the online presence now.
Absolutely. Reviews can make or break you.
They really can. So, it's all connected.
It sounds like this ripple effect. Improved efficiency leads to happier patients, which leads to more business, and ultimately a more successful practice.
Precisely. And that's what sets Dentcalls.ai apart.
What do you mean?
It's not just a Band-Aid solution, for one specific problem.
Right.
It's a comprehensive platform that addresses, several of these key areas that impact a practice's overall success.
You mentioned online reviews before, and it seems like reputation management is more important than ever these days for any business, really, but especially in healthcare. So how does Dentcalls.ai help with that?
It plays a crucial role. Remember how we talked about it handling patient inquiries and providing those quick responses?
Right.
Well, that just translates to happier patients, patients who are less likely to leave a bad review out of frustration.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or delays, right. Plus, with Codibot's ability to learn and adapt, it can even proactively identify potential issues.
Oh, wow. So it gets ahead of it.
It does. It can address them before they even escalate into a problem.
So it's not just reacting to problems.
Right.
It's anticipating and preventing them altogether.
Exactly.
That's impressive.
It's a very smart approach.
But let's get back to the financial side of things for a moment.
Yeah.
You mentioned cost savings earlier, but I'm assuming implementing a system like this involves some upfront investment.
It does.
So is it really worth it for smaller practices or, those that maybe have tighter budgets?
That's a valid concern. But while there is that initial investment, the long-term return on investment, it can be substantial.
Okay.
Think about it. Reducing staffing costs,
Yeah.
increasing patient volume, improving patient retention, all these things, They contribute to a healthier financial outlook.
It's the long game.
Exactly. Plus, Dentcalls.ai, they offer flexible pricing models.
Oh, okay, that's good.
To accommodate practices of different sizes and needs.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Yeah.
They try to tailor their solutions to each practice.
They do. It's about fitting the specific situation.
That makes sense. But even with the potential for cost savings, I imagine some practice owners might still be hesitant to embrace AI. It's a big change.
It is a big change.
Some people are just naturally resistant to new technology. So how do you see Dentcalls.ai overcoming that hurdle?
It's true. Change can be challenging. But the reality is that AI isn't some futuristic concept anymore.
Yeah, it's here.
It's here, and it's transforming industries, including healthcare. Dentcalls.ai is actually designed to be very user-friendly and intuitive, even for those who aren't necessarily, tech-savvy.
It can't be that complicated to use.
No, and they also provide comprehensive onboarding and support to ensure a smooth transition.
Okay.
So they're there to help.
So they're not just throwing the technology over the fence and saying good luck.
Yeah.
They're actually partnering with these practices to help them through the implementation process. That's important. But beyond just the practical aspects, I imagine there are some psychological barriers too. Some people might worry that, AI will somehow dehumanize the patient experience. So how does Dentcalls.ai address that concern?
It's a valid concern, but it's important to remember that Dentcalls.ai isn't meant to replace human interaction altogether.
Okay.
It's about enhancing it,
Right.
augmenting it.
Right. By handling those routine tasks, giving that instant access to information, it frees up staff to really focus on what they do best.
Which is
Building relationships with patients, providing personalized care, offering that human touch that's so essential in healthcare.
right. It's not replacing humans.
No.
It's finding that synergy between the technology and the human interaction, using each one to its strengths to create the best possible experience for the patient.
That's a pretty powerful concept. But let's not forget about the other side of the equation here, the dental practice staff themselves. How do they typically react to the introduction of AI into their workflow?
Initially there might be some apprehension, maybe some resistance to the change.
That's understandable.
It is, it's natural. But once they actually experience the benefits firsthand, like that reduced administrative burden, having more time for patient care, a smoother workflow overall,
They warm up to it.
they do. They often become very enthusiastic advocates for the technology. They see how it actually empowers them to do their jobs more effectively and focus on what truly matters.
So it's about winning them over by showing them how AI can actually make their lives easier and their work more fulfilling.
Exactly. And speaking of fulfilling work, how about we shift gears a bit and talk about the impact of Dentcalls.ai on staff morale and job satisfaction? Is there any evidence that suggests it actually makes a difference in that area?
Absolutely. When staff members feel overwhelmed, with administrative tasks, it can lead to burnout, it can lead to stress, you get decreased job satisfaction.
Nobody wants that.
No. And so by automating those tasks and streamlining those workflows, Dentcalls.ai creates a much more positive and productive work environment. And that benefits the individual staff members, but also the practice as a whole.
So happier staff, happier patients, better outcomes overall.
Right.
That's a great point. But let's not get too caught up in the positives here. Every technology has its limitations. So what are some of the challenges, the potential drawbacks of implementing Dentcalls.ai, and how are they being addressed?
One potential challenge is just ensuring seamless integration with existing practice management software.
I see. While Dentcalls.ai is designed to be compatible with most of the major systems out there, there might be some initial setup required or, some customization. To address this, they offer those dedicated support teams to assist practices with the whole integration process.
So they don't just leave you hanging.
No, they don't.
They're there to help.
They are.
So it's not just like plug in and play. There's some effort involved on the practice's end to make sure everything's working smoothly.
Right.
But it sounds like they have the resources and expertise to guide them through that.
They do, exactly. And they're constantly working to improve the integration and compatibility to make the transition as smooth as possible. Another potential challenge is making sure that staff members are adequately trained, making sure they know how to use the system effectively.
Right.
To address this, they offer comprehensive training materials. There's ongoing support to ensure that everyone is, comfortable and confident using the technology.
A learning curve for some folks.
It is. It is, and it goes beyond just the technical training.
How do you mean?
It's about helping the staff understand the value of AI, how it can actually enhance their roles within the practice.
Oh,
When
interesting.
they actually see those benefits firsthand, they're much more likely to embrace the technology, and become advocates for its use.
So it's really about changing mindsets as much as it's about implementing this new technology.
Exactly. It's a shift in thinking.
That's an interesting insight. But even with all the best training and support in the world, I imagine there might still be times when, patients just prefer to interact with a human,
Sure.
especially for, those really complex issues or the sensitive issues.
Right.
So how does Dentcalls.ai handle those situations?
Well, that's where that human element comes back into play. Dentcalls.ai is designed to handle those routine tasks, to provide general information, but it also recognizes when a situation needs a human touch. In those cases, it'll seamlessly transfer the interaction over to a staff member who can then provide that personalized attention and address the patient's specific needs.
So it's really about finding that right balance, knowing when to leverage the tech and when to lean on human expertise.
Exactly. It's not about replacing humans with machines. It's about using the technology to enhance human capabilities.
Right, working together. So we've covered a lot here, benefits, challenges. But let's look ahead a bit, talk about the future of this technology. What are some of the emerging trends or developments that you see shaping the landscape of AI in dentistry, and how's Dentcalls.ai positioned to lead the way?
Well, one of the most exciting trends is the increasing personalization of AI-powered solutions. We're moving beyond those generic algorithms. We're getting into systems that can actually learn and adapt to individual patient needs and preferences.
So it's getting smarter.
It is. It's getting much smarter. And Dentcalls.ai is at the forefront of this trend with its Codibot platform, which allows them to tailor solutions to, the very specific requirements of each practice and each patient.
So it's moving away from that one-size-fits-all approach. It's becoming more customized.
It is.
What other trends are you seeing out there?
Another key trend is this integration of AI with other emerging technologies.
Like what?
Things like voice recognition, natural language processing, maybe even virtual reality.
Wow.
This is going to create even more immersive and interactive patient experiences, further enhancing engagement and satisfaction. Dentcalls.ai, they're actively exploring these integrations to make sure they're staying on that cutting edge of innovation.
So it's not just AI by itself.
No.
It's AI combined with all these other technologies to create these, really transformative solutions.
It's exciting stuff.
It is. Any other trends worth noting?
Well, we're seeing a growing emphasis on data security and privacy, especially in healthcare.
Right, that's huge.
It is. Patients are much more aware of how their data is being used now, and they're demanding more transparency and control. Dentcalls.ai, they're committed to meeting these demands by prioritizing data security and compliance with all the relevant regulations.
That's good to hear.
It is.
So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about using it responsibly and ethically. And that's an important consideration for any AI solution, but especially in healthcare. Let's bring it back down to the dental practice level, though. We've talked about all the potential benefits. But what does success actually look like for a practice that's using this technology? What are some of the key indicators that they're on the right track?
Well, one key indicator is just increased patient volume.
Okay, more patients.
More patients. If a practice is seeing more patients without feeling, overwhelmed or stretched thin, it's a good sign the technology is working as intended. Another indicator is that improved patient satisfaction. You see it in those positive online reviews, higher retention rates, more word-of-mouth referrals.
So it's about looking beyond just the numbers, considering that whole patient experience. What else should these practices be paying attention to?
They should also track, key metrics, things like staff productivity, how efficient their appointment scheduling is, and a reduction in, that administrative burden. If they're seeing positive trends in these areas, it suggests that the technology is helping them, streamline their operations.
Yeah, it's freeing up staff time to focus on those more, high-value tasks.
Exactly. So it's using data to measure the real impact of the technology, make sure that it's actually delivering on its promises. And that's crucial for any business, really, but especially one that's investing in new technology.
You've got to measure to manage.
You do. Data-driven decision-making is essential for success in today's world, and Dentcalls.ai provides those tools and insights that they need to make informed decisions about how to leverage AI.
Powerful stuff.
It is.
But let's not forget about the bigger picture here. We
Yeah.
talked about how Dentcalls.ai is transforming these individual practices.
Yeah.
But what about its impact on the dental industry as a whole? How do you see this technology shaping the future of dentistry?
Well, Dentcalls.ai is playing a crucial role in this whole digital transformation of the dental industry.
Okay.
By automating those routine tasks, improving efficiency, enhancing those patient experiences, it's paving the way for a more modern, more patient-centric approach to dental care.
Yeah.
This isn't just about technology, though.
What do you mean?
It's a cultural shift. It's redefining the relationship between patients and providers.
That's a really profound observation. So it's not just about the tools and the technology. It's about creating a better experience for everyone involved. But with all this talk about digital transformation and the future of dentistry, it's easy to get caught up in the hype, So lose sight of that human element. How do you see Dentcalls.ai making sure that the technology doesn't, overshadow the importance of human connection, that compassion that's so important in healthcare?
That's such a crucial question, and ultimately Dentcalls.ai is about empowering those dental professionals to provide better care. It's not replacing them, it's just a tool that allows them to focus on what truly matters. Building relationships with their patients, understanding their needs, and providing that personalized care with, real empathy and compassion.
So it's about finding that synergy, that balance between the tech and that human touch, using both to create, the best possible experience for the patient. That's amazing. We've covered a lot of ground here today. We've gone from the core functionality to its impact on the dental industry. But I know our listeners are eager to hear about some real-world examples of how Dentcalls.ai is actually making a difference in these dental practices.
I bet they are.
So let's do it. Let's shift gears and dive into some specific success stories in our next segment.
That's good.
All right, let's get down to, the real nitty-gritty here. What are we seeing? What are some real-world examples of how Dentcalls.ai is actually making a difference in these practices?
Right. Well, those specific case studies, they're confidential.
Sure, of course.
We can definitely paint a picture based on what we know. Imagine, a practice that's really struggling to keep up.
Okay.
They're getting all these phone calls, appointment requests, tons of inquiries. Their staff is completely stressed out. Patients are getting frustrated. And it's really impacting their bottom line.
Yeah, I can see it now, that overflowing inbox, the phone's constantly ringing, that feeling of just being perpetually behind. Ugh, it's the worst.
It is. It's stressful. Now, picture that same practice. They decide to implement Dentcalls.ai. Okay. The AI takes over all those routine tasks.
Makes sense.
Scheduling appointments, sending out those reminders, even answering those FAQs about insurance and procedures. Suddenly, the staff can just breathe again.
Oh, relief.
Right. They can focus on patient care. The whole atmosphere of the office shifts from this chaotic feeling to, something much more calm and collected.
So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about the ripple effect it has on, the whole practice.
Exactly.
Less stress, happier staff, more time to actually focus on the patients.
Yeah.
That sounds like a real recipe for success.
It is, and the patients feel it too. No more waiting on hold, no more playing phone tag.
Right.
They can just hop online, schedule their appointments, get their questions answered quickly.
Easy peasy.
Exactly. And they feel confident that, their needs are actually being met.
It's almost like upgrading from, a rotary phone to a smartphone.
Right.
Everything's faster, smoother, more convenient.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that Codibot platform again, though, for a second.
Sure.
The sources, they really emphasized how it's helping Dentcalls.ai stay ahead of the curve. So how does that actually play out in a real practice?
Well, that's where that agile development comes in. Because Dentcalls.ai owns the platform, they can quickly adapt. They respond to feedback that's coming in from real dental practices.
So they're listening.
They are. New features, improvements, even adjustments based on what's happening, what's trending in the industry. It all happens so much faster than, those traditional software development cycles.
So it's not just a static system. It's constantly evolving.
Exactly. It's evolving to meet the needs of a very dynamic industry.
Right. Because regulations change, new technologies pop up, patient expectations, they're always changing. So Dentcalls.ai is really built to adapt and stay ahead of those shifts. That's really impressive.
It is. It's a level of responsiveness that you just don't see with a lot of software solutions out there.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
Mm.
And we've gone from, the basic functionality of Dentcalls.ai to its potential impact, really, on the entire dental industry. But for our listeners out there, what does this all mean for them? What's the big takeaway here?
Here's the thing. Even if you're not a dentist, right? Even if you're not in the dental industry, the principles behind Dentcalls.ai, they're applicable to almost any business. Using AI to streamline those tasks, improve your customer interactions, empower your staff. These are strategies that can really benefit any organization, no matter how big or small or what industry you're in.
So it's really about just thinking outside the box a little bit, thinking about how AI can be used to solve those everyday problems and create a better experience for everyone involved, not just your employees, but your customers too.
Exactly, exactly. So, as you're thinking about your own business or your own field, just ask yourself what areas could really benefit from this type of innovation? What tasks could be automated to, free up more staff time? What could you be doing to enhance that customer journey and really build those strong relationships?
Those are some great questions for everyone listening out there to think about. Dentcalls.ai is a really compelling example of how AI, it's not just some futuristic concept. It's a very powerful tool that's making a real difference in the world today.
And the potential for AI to, keep transforming industries and improving our lives, it's limitless.
It's an exciting time to be alive.
It is. So stay curious, explore the possibilities, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one pioneering the next AI revolution in your field.
Well, that's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Dentcalls.ai. We hope you found it insightful, maybe even a little inspiring. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.